Is Fortnite a good video game? Of course it's not. It is actually a complete piece of shit. But I actually did want to come back, re-download the game, and play through it again to showcase, maybe to more solidify my opinion on that, because it's kind of interesting because it feels like anyone who has the slightest inkling about what a video game is, who has a history with them, who knows about them, who appreciates, the legitimately good games, on the N64, the GameCube, the Wii, like all these, someone who knows what they're talking about, essentially. Like, those people seem to, without exception, loathe Fortnite. At this point, it feels mostly that, like, Fortnite is being propped up by kids, casuals, and streamers like Ninja, who sort of thrive off of pandering to these people. It was absurd. I deliberately went into Fortnite, on my Nintendo Switch, playing this game. I deliberately went into it like wanting to make an in-depth video talking about everything this game does wrong and why it's boring and why it's not all that great. And really, I was basically bored before the first round was even over. Like, I was shocked at the low skill ceiling on display. Like, people were running around. I was almost convinced that the people I was playing against were bots, which I suppose is very, very possible. I do feel like Fortnite has lost a lot of its popularity already. But I suppose that just goes to show you that the general consensus on Fortnite from the gaming community that it was a fad was absolutely correct. Like, it's really interesting because Fortnite's entire defining characteristic, it wasn't the battle royale aspect, it wasn't the combat, it wasn't like the personality of the game, it wasn't the visuals, it wasn't any of that. Like, the reason people gravitated towards Fortnite so much was because it was a popular game, free-to-play game on mobile. That's it. So for a while there, a bunch of people were playing it because it was the hot new thing to play, and now that it's starting to finally lose some of that popularity, lose some of that sparkle, right? It doesn't have the overwhelming popularity that it used to. Like, it's when I compare this thing to Pokemon, right? The Pokemon was considered by the world to be a fad for the longest time, right? For that Pokemania period, like, people kind of convinced themselves that, like, it was just a fad, it would go away. Well, no, Pokemon was versatile. It had the card game, it had the anime, it had the video games, all of which like sort of incorporate the world and personality into the series in like very unique, interesting ways. And then like over the years, they started doing more spin-off material, more things with the idea, and here we are today, getting excited over a photography simulator because the world is so fleshed out and so interesting that we enjoy this kind of thing. I don't see that from Fortnite. I don't see that kind of appeal. Like, it doesn't have the same kind of draw that Pokemon has. It doesn't have the same kind of appeal. It's just a fad. When you get right down to it, like most people are only playing it because it's the in thing to play. I don't think this game really has any true longevity to it at all. Like, there are so many better online shooter games out there. Like, of course, the Splatoons, and countless other games just stomp all over this thing. There's just really no point in talking about it to an extent. And one of the things I really wanted to point out, more than anything, was just the sheer arrogance that streamers like Ninja have to their brand. They legitimately think they're hot shit because they're popular because they play a specific video game. It's really interesting. Check out this tweet here. Let's see. I still can't believe this is real. I'll never understand how college and NFL football teams allow kickers that just miss kicks. I feel like there has to be pools of kickers in the USA that won't miss simple kicks, or snappers that won't mess the snaps. I don't know, man. It seems so silly. Would love opinions on this. I'll never understand how pro Fortnite players just miss shots. I feel like there has to be pools of pro players who can just click on their heads and hit every shot with 100% accuracy. Just seems so silly. This is the shittiest reply ever. Fortnite requires movement, editing, building, rotating, and hitting shots. There are not positions in Fortnite. A kicker's job is literally to kick. Horrible analogy. Kind of embarrassing. See, like, it's this kind of attitude, it's this kind of mindset that makes me not want to take these big Fortnite players, this Fortnite community, all that seriously, because they really are just a bunch of people who latched onto a trend and sort of catapulted themselves to relevancy because of that trend. Like, they have no real talent, they have no real knowledge, no real skills. Like, they're not truly successful people. It always gets me when people always talk about how much money Ninja has made. Well, how is he going to keep it? How is he going to maintain that going forward? Why do you think he still begs for money on stream? Because that's the way he's always made money. Like, you shouldn't be giving him money, but people are still in that mindset where, like, we got to support this poor Fortnite streamer. It's ridiculous. It really does need to be dealt with. There needs to be, people need to sort of, games like Fortnite, they're not special. They're just flavor of the month games that come and go and are quickly forgotten. Like, it's not unique, it's not special, it's not interesting. It's just another mobile game.